Yo, what's good people? Welcome to the video. Inside this video, I'm going to be talking about 2026, setting goals, breaking old cycles from the previous years, 2025, 2024, and so on. And I'm going to be talking about, more so in particular, how to get the most out of life this year. Now, those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. Those of you who have watched my old videos, welcome back. I've been getting the urge to start posting again. Inside this video, I'm just going to be flowing off the top of my mind about some actionable steps that you can take in order to see a change in your life, in not just, business, but every single area of life, from your health, fitness, relationships, lifestyle, and yeah, just talk from my own experience about what I've done myself in order to see changes. So one of the biggest things that's been coming up for me personally is breaking old cycles. I actually went to an astral meditation place literally just the other week and took some Blue Lotus tea. And this might sound airy-fairy for some people, man, but all of this shit is real. It actually does work. Took some Blue Lotus tea, lied down on a mat and just meditated for an hour, and I got a ton of new answers, okay? I had some crazy experiences. Not going to dive too deep into what I saw, but the answers I got were to do with breaking cycles. And the craziest thing after is I pulled a card out of this deck, and the card I got was to do with breaking cycles, which I figured I would talk about in this video. And yeah, it's a big thing because a lot of people have been living in the same repetitive life for not just the last year, but since I'd say around 2019, 2020 especially, is when people have just been stuck in this loop. And for a lot of people, it feels like time has been going very, very quick. Like, we're already on the 28th of Jan this year. And it seems to me, when I look at people in my, not my circle, but, just people in general, it seems to me that a lot of them just aren't awake. They aren't actually awake and able to snap into a new reality. They're just kind of just getting along, like, getting by type of vibe. So if this is you and you relate to that, this is how you can snap out of it and how you can start having more fun in your life, start living with purpose, start doing things that you want to do rather than just continuing on with the same old boring life. So first of all, let's talk about what is a cycle. Well, to me, the way that I understand the cycle, especially when it comes to mindset and reality, is basically a loop that you're living in that is unconscious. And in order to go ahead and break a cycle and break a loop, there's a few steps that come into play. So this is going to be the action side of things, first of all. So I'm going to split this video into two parts. There's going to be removing your old self and then stepping into your new self. Let's talk about removing your old self and all of these cycles. Step one that you need to do is become aware of what you do not want in your life anymore. Okay, because what you see all around you, right, in your life, your day-to-day experiences, your job, your family, your friends, the people you surround yourself with, your experiences, your health, your lifestyle, all of these things on a day-to-day basis are created by you, okay? And the best way to understand this is that reality is a mirror of what's going on within your internal world, within your mind. And everything you see around you has been created by you and the actions that you have taken, okay? And this is, comes into play with taking responsibility of your life. All of the actions that you've taken over the past 90 days, the past 180 days, year, 5 years, 10 years, it's all come down to you and what you have done, okay? So take a look at all of these things, especially the things that you no longer want, that keep popping up into your life. Take a look at them, and what you want to do is simply just write out everything, okay? Write out how your day-to-day life has been over the past few weeks, the past months, the past year. And I've seen this big thing where a lot of people just, haven't seemed to have been awake. Like, they're just getting by. And in order to snap out of that, you must first become aware. So this step is super important. Get a piece of paper, write it down on one side, get it done, okay? So that's step one to shedding your old self. Now, step two is accepting what has happened. Okay, and the way to do this is simply no longer associate with these old stories that you're telling yourself, right? Like, let's say you're struggling with money. If you keep telling yourself, oh man, I can't afford this, how can I do that? How is he doing that? If you're confused, if you're lost, Stop associating yourself with these old stories. You can choose to step into anything that you want to have in your life, okay? Like, life is like a game, right? The best way to imagine this is, let's say you're in a dream. You understand that in a dream anything is possible, especially when you become lucid. You can snap out of that sleeping state, and then all of a sudden you think of something. You think of some fucking crazy shit, like a flying monkey or something. You'll see that in your dream. Like, everyone's had these crazy type of dreams. Like, I'm not crazy for saying this. So the best way to look at life is to look at it just like one of those dreams. And if you can snap out of that sleeping state and understand that anything in life is possible when you think of it, then the worst case scenario is you're going to have a much more interesting and fun life, okay? If you do not want to believe in like anything, the idea of like literally creating a reality. If you can't accept that belief just yet, then just understand that the worst case scenario of just playing this game is seeing some kind of fun shit happen, right? Where am I going with this? Well, acceptance is no longer associating with your old self, is stepping out of that identity. That old version of you is just a movie character in a movie that you no longer want to play a part in, and you're just the person who acts as that character, okay? If you want a different life, all you need to do is just act as a new character. And this is the third step, which is overcoming. Take notes on this, by the way. But when you overcome, what you can do is now start setting new intentions, right? And new intentions is what fucking hypes me up, because an intention is what I personally see an intention as something that literally pushes you forwards into a new reality. Like the word intention, like it literally, like you're putting tension on something new and you're going in towards it. Like that's the way that I view the word intention, right? That's like, there's multiple different definitions, but that's how I view it. So when it comes to overcoming, when it comes to stepping into that new movie character that you want to play and you want to live the reality of, this is where shit gets fun. You've got that old list of, old character traits and old stories and old, reality that you're living on that one side of paper. Now flip it over and write out the new reality that you want to live. Be as fun, be as creative, and as imaginative as you want to be with this. And the best way to think about this is, imagine when you were a kid. Like, a kid would ask so many different questions. A kid would ask, stupid sounding questions to adults that are like fully matured and like sleeping, simply because they don't believe in things being impossible, right? So the best way to think about your new intentions is let yourself be in a childlike state where you found even just the smallest things fun, right? Like, so many people right now in life, they have so many different things going off, so many things trying to pull their attention, screens, life events, all of this kind of stuff, especially as you get older, that you almost lose that innocence of enjoying the smallest things. Someone gives you a chocolate bar, you see a present under the Christmas tree. Like, you lose that little essence of like childlike fun that you had. So when it comes to setting intentions, like, bro, imagine it being like you just writing a list for Santa, like a Christmas list. Like that's like a fun way that you could go ahead and do this activity. Whatever it is, just make sure you're in a heightened state of energy and emotion when writing this list out, okay? Get clear on what you want as well, not what you don't want. Let's say you don't want to live in the UK anymore. Don't write on the list, I don't want to live in the UK anymore, because you're still focusing your energy on being in the UK. Like, think about that. Where you focus your energy, right, your energy is going to flow there. Like, where you focus your attention, energy flows, and you're just going to keep repeating that. You're putting energy on being in the UK or in the US or wherever it is, right? So get clear on what you want instead. I will be living in XYZ. I already am living in XYZ. When you step into the state of embodiment where you already have that thing that you want, then it's just going to come to you. For real, it's just going to come to you. So on this list, the way that I personally like to do it, and I approached this year slightly differently with my intentions. I just wrote out a list of like 12 intentions that I wanted. In previous years, I would write out much more. I'd get clear on scenes. I'd get clear on being very descriptive of what I wanted. But this year, I thought, let me just be different with it and see what happens and what pans out. And I found writing a simple bullet point list a lot easier for me. But for some of you, like if you struggle to get a clear picture of what it is that you want in your mind, you can go ahead and section it out. So I like to section it out in the past into business and money. I like to section it out into health and fitness. I like to section it out into relationships and family, and also lifestyle and freedom. Okay, and this is like where I just put all of my fun stuff. And in each different box, you can just put all of these different intentions. And that way you can get a very clear image of what it is you want. I feel like when you don't have intention in life, you can very easily just spiral out and life will just do whatever it wants. And then that's what happens when you end up in that old cycle, which I spoke about at the start of this video. And you end up in this, in that loop where, your baseline is here, and then you're going up, you'll self-sabotage, you'll go down, you'll start panicking, you'll go back up, and you just end up in this like cycle where in the middle is just like mediocrity, like your normal old life, which you just can't slip out of. So once you've got your intentions clear, then what you can do is start stepping into that movie character. Okay, so when you start imagining life to be a game, when you start imagining it to be a dream that you can just step out of and become lucid in and just start doing what you want, doing all sorts of shit, it becomes so fun, man. I'm telling you right now, it becomes so fucking fun. You can literally imagine life is a dream, that you've all of a sudden snapped out of that sleeping state and become lucid, and now you think of something and it literally just happens. Like I'm telling you, like this is literally how it works. There's so many stories of this, not just small stories of like manifesting a parking space, but I mean, even my own personal story. Like the start of last year, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. End of last year, I'm here in Dubai. And the maddest thing is I wrote all of this stuff down. Like earlier in the year last year, I wanted to be in Marbella. It happened. And then so much other stuff happened. And then I wrote down on my vision at the start of last year, I want to be in Dubai. I want to spend some time out here, see how the lifestyle's like, potentially move here later this year. Boom, I'm out here. Like it happens. And this is what will take place in your reality when you start stepping into that new character. So how can you start doing this? Well, that comes down to your habits. It comes down to your beliefs. And just your overall behaviors. So the simplest way to do this is don't be harsh on yourself. Don't set yourself into a set, rigid structure where you're punishing yourself if you miss a certain action or a habit that you said yourself that you would do. Like don't do that shit, because what happens with that, whilst it's good to build that level of discipline and it can assist you, what you also do is you place too much importance on being this new person. And when you place too much importance on that, you put it on a pedestal. When something's on a pedestal, you no longer align with it, and therefore it's just a fucking complete mismatch. And it's like trying to attract a girl which isn't really interested in you. Like when you start pushing and start spamming her DMs like that, it's not gonna work, my guy. It's not gonna work. So you just need to allow yourself to have freedom in what you're doing, but have that intention in the back of your mind that's driving you towards where it is you're going. Okay, and yeah, best way to approach this is just follow what's on your mind. Like deep down, when you do something bad, you have this inner voice within you which will tell you like, bro, don't do that shit again. Like don't do that again. And then if you do it again, that voice gets a little bit louder and it's like, don't do that again, don't do that again. On the flip side, let's say you hit a good ass workout, you hit your macros for the day, you've made some good progress on the business, you start associating pleasure with that new character, with the new things that you want, and you start feeding that new cycle. Okay, and this is where the role of cycles comes into play. You can have downward cycles, you can have upward cycles. And in the book Reality Transurfing, I've got it over there, it talks about pendulums. That's kind of like what a cycle is, but it's just like a point of energy that you keep feeding. You can keep feeding a negative point of energy and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger, or the positive side, it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. So choose which spiral you want to feed, basically. And after that point, all you need to do is just live your life. Imagine that it's already done. Because the version of you who exists out there, who already has that successful business, who already has that relationship, who already has that physique that you want, that lifestyle that you want, the car you want, whatever it is, they will not be thinking about wanting it because they already have it. So you cannot be in two places at once, wanting and then having and wanting and having. You need to choose one. So choose to have it, and then live as if it's already done. Okay. Is there anything else I need to add? I don't think so. Life is super simple, man. Like, I'm telling you for real. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate this shit. I had so many questions recently. I posted a story on my Instagram the other day. In fact, I had people hitting me up that I didn't even know. I think it was just some like Food Network and shit, just asking me questions about business and what I'm doing right now. Someone said to me like, yo, should I choose this business model? Should I choose this business model? I don't like the current one I'm doing. And I said, bro, just do what you enjoy. Reverse engineer from your vision. Don't think about the fucking money right now. Reverse engineer from the lifestyle you want, from the reality you want. Do what you want to do. You have your own individual soul's blueprint that you have, and everything will fall into play. Because the worst case scenario you can have is going down a route that some guru on YouTube with a course is trying to sell you, like some crazy business model, like some new AI shit that you just do not want to do, and going down that route, and then 6 months later just being fucking stuck in a loop struggling, when you could have just done what you enjoy and doubled down on it and actually made a serious amount of money with it and changed your entire lifestyle with it, right? That's a completely different side tangent, but hopefully this video helps you. Take some notes on this, apply this. There isn't really anything else for me to say other than just, yeah, imagine life is a dream. You can step out of that sleeping state, step into that lucid state, start imagining things are possible that you previously didn't think were possible, and worst case scenario, I promise you, you will start having more fun in your life and you will start seeing some changes in your life. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you soon.